Hi guys, Aaron here. Recently I got a request from one of my viewers to talk a little bit about clincher tires, which one is the best and how do you choose one. Well, of course I don't really have the chance to test every possible clincher tire on the market, but since rolling resistance and the properties of tires are quite easily tested, verified and handily available in quite a transparent manner, you can make some pretty good educated guesses about how each tire is going to perform. So today I'm going to focus mainly on why I choose the tires I choose to run and how do they perform. So the first tire I'm going to talk about is the one that I use the most, or have been using the most lately, and it's the Vittoria Corsa G+. Now I have talked quite a bit about this tire. It's an open tubular construction, race tire with a high tread count, good grip, good ride quality, not the very best in terms of rolling resistance or weight, not tubeless ready, but quite durable, quite puncture proof, and I really like the feel of it. One issue I have with it is the way it wears. Now for some reason the carcass kind of sets in a strange way, and it gets, even if the tread is not worn, it kind of squashes a little bit in the middle, and I have a feeling that you kind of lose that bulbous shape and a bit of cornering feel by doing that, but still nevertheless it's a very good tire. I've used it through all of winter this year and last year. Got on the clincher version I got exactly 0 punctures, so yeah, I rate this tire very highly. Although I think this season I won't be using it as much, and that's because there's this other tire that I'm using now, and this is the Schwalbe Pro One. This tire is a regular vulcanized construction, and despite that rides very well. It's more grippy than the Vittoria, a bit more expensive, but the main thing for me is this little fella right here. It's tubeless ready, and it's very good at that, being also the fastest non-time trial specific clincher tire. And I got it because of these MV 7.8s. I really wanted to try them tubeless, and I think it's the way to go. Basically, apart from the 4.5, all of these wheels are set up tubeless, and I think when I wear these Vittorias out, I'm going to put the Schwalbes on this pair as well, just to make it a bit easier to have, or should I say not to have so many types of tires on my different wheels. That way it's just easier to live with. So yeah, so far I haven't really been able to ride this tire too much, but as I said, it does very well in tests. It's tubeless ready. Despite that, it's lighter than the Vittoria, surprisingly. So yeah, very impressed with it so far. Another thing I should mention, and I've just found it out recently, but it makes sense to me at least, is that some people say that the Vittorias are not very good in terms of aerodynamics, and it's because of the open construction. So you get this little edge and then the rounded bead, so you don't have any rubber here, and that makes the transition, well, the transition is not much better than with the tubular tire. So yeah, if you look at it with the Schwalbe, yeah, the transition is much smoother on there. So yeah, we'll see. But if you can, definitely run tubeless. If not, then latex tubes, it's where it's at. Fewer punctures, more speed, less weight, win all round. Okay, so these were my, I would say, road racing wheels and the tires on them. Most manufacturers nowadays do three basic types of tires. So one is a time trial specific super fast tire, one is a road race tire, general purpose like we have here, and then a poor weather, more winter specific tire. I haven't really tested any of those lately, but maybe I will in the future. However, as you may know, I'm quite into time trialing, so I have specific tires for that. And in this segment, it's kind of an obvious choice really, because the Vittoria Corsa Speed is the fastest by quite some margin, and it's the only one that's tubeless ready as well. So yeah, this is the 2-spoke setup tubeless ready, same on the heads, or the head disc and the 9 front. This tire, as I said, super fast, very comfortable, not very durable, it's extremely thin, not very puncture proof. So yeah, this is basically time trial only tire. Some people use it for racing, I have as well, but in my experience it doesn't really have enough grip for that, for aggressive cornering in a bunch. Yeah, when I was really pushing it, I could slip the rear wheel out, even in a dry on very good quality tarmac. So yeah, I prefer to use this only for time trialing and for solo efforts when, you know, these the rolling resistance really counts. Yeah, and the same tire on the head. One other thing that people contact me about is tire width. Nowadays it's quite common to hear that a wider tire is a faster tire. Now that is true if you compare the same tire of the same construction, and well, you basically don't take aerodynamics into account. As you can see, this is 23 and it's only made in 23. Well, it was until very recently. I don't think I have seen 25 available yet for purchase. But anyway, if you want to go super fast, then aerodynamics is going to be a bit more important. So the main thing you want to do is to match up your rim width, which should be wider than your tire width. With some older rims, it's quite hard to achieve with the tires nowadays. And the one thing I don't like about clincher tires, and it can be quite frustrating, is, well, for example, this one, it's called a 23. It's really not, because you can never really tell. This rim has an internal width of I think 17 mil, so quite narrow, quite conservative. The tire measures 24 mil on it. This head disc is much more generous, 21 mil internal, plumps them out to 27 mil. So yeah, 23 mil tire, not 23 mil in any case basically. Okay, so these are the tires that I use. Another notable exemption, many people use it, will be the Conti GP4000 S2s. These are quite ubiquitous. However, I think all of these tires have more modern designs, bit better performance. So yeah, I think people should be considering changing those, because there are better alternatives, although still a very good choice. And I have another notable mention here. These are the Pirellis, the P0s, and yeah, rolling resistance wise they are on the same level as the Corsas, but they could potentially be more aerodynamic, I think, and have better grip because they have a fancy silica compound. I've yet to try this out. The weather was horrible this winter, so I've been stuck to Zwift for most of the time, but I'm going to review these as well. But the main reason I'm pointing these out is, well, at least where I live, tire pricing can change quite a lot, but in my market these cost around 30% less than any of these with a very close performance, so definitely keep an eye out for those. Yeah, and one more idea comes to my mind. So rolling resistance, actually quite few people know this, but the heavier you are, the more vertical load you have on your tire, the more resistance you're going to experience, whatever the pressure. It comes down to just mechanics really. So the heavier of a rider you are, the more you should focus on reducing your rolling resistance. The lighter you are, you experience less rolling resistance, so potentially aerodynamics are going to make more of a difference. Okay, so these are my thoughts on the tires that I use and which are on the market right now. I hope you found this useful, and if you'd like to see other tips or reviews or the wheel sets you see here or the bikes you see here, then don't forget to tune into the channel and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.